Hello everyone, my name is Swati and welcome to another productive video where we dive into the practical strategies and effective tools that will revolutionize the way you gauge productivity in your workplace. So whether you are a seasoned manager or an ambitious entrepreneur, get ready to elevate your team's performance to new heights. And before doing all this, I request you to please subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon to get connected with HR Adminis. And by the end of the video, if you find the strategies effective to implement at your workplace, then do share your feedback in the comment section and don't forget to like the video. Let us begin to understand what is team productivity. Productivity measure indicates how well the team or an individual performs. It is in essence a measure of efficiency either of an employee, a machine or a system or any other thing in converting inputs into outputs. You can typically think of a ratio of the output generated to the input invested in order to determine the degree of productivity. But how can you measure productivity with more precision, and how can you truly know if your team is being productive and if you will achieve the specific objectives? So this frustration has led to some companies altogether abandoning the annual reviews. However, managers must understand the importance of it and how it can benefit both the employee and the company. So here is the list of most significant benefits of measuring productivity and performance, beginning with the first one to understand, wherein the managers who don't accurately and carefully measure their employees' performance will be out of touch with their team's success and failures. That's why it essentially makes it impossible to provide constructive feedback and get results. So without valuable feedback, employees will be less able to improve, grow and develop, and that will make them move on. Secondly, working with no specific goal in mind is dull, and everyone working with no particular purpose ends up feeling frustrated and demotivated. So employees do perform better when they have goals to strive for and work towards them. Measuring employee performance will allow any manager to adjust and regulate those goals by providing insight into whether someone is performing well or not performing well. However, goal setting must be a conversation about what the company needs and how the employee can contribute to those needs, and not set only by the managers with no employee input. So if you are leading a team or you want to build a high performing team, you should regularly measure employee performance and discuss with employees about their projects, goals and ambitions. This way, they are less likely to confronted with burnout or disengaged teams and more likely to have employees who meet goals. Accurately track your time and measure your team's productivity. You have a better sense of where you should invest, what is making your company lose money. So when you calculate labor productivity using the output ratio and the money you invested in the production process, you can identify things that require a more significant or minor investment. Once you have analyzed all the information, you might be surprised by how much money you can save by tracking and comparing productivity metrics over time or smartly investing elsewhere. This is one of the smartest ways to improve business efficiency. It is very sad that many companies don't pay much attention to the culture of recognition in their organization or in their teams, because if you accurately measure your team's performance, you can also accurately compensate employees with promotions, internal role changes or other things. By analyzing every employee's performance, you can ensure that you fairly compensate top performers by giving them the recognition they deserve and supporting your low performers. Improving individual performance helps employees contribute to the company's success, but it also helps with employee work-life balance. So keep in mind that work in general can produce effects on someone's mental or physical health as well. Because when employees think that low performance are tolerated without consequences, it can cause frustration and an unpleasant environment. Now coming to the purpose of this video, that is how to measure employee productivity in the workplace. Accurately measuring employee productivity is a critical step of job management along with understanding it correctly. So productivity data will create an accurate picture for you and will inform your company's productivity, performance and overall profitability. So depending on your team's work, there are different ways to measure productivity, and by measuring your team's productivity, you are calculating how much work a team can produce over a given time, such as a month or a year. The team's productivity depends on many factors such as KPIs or productivity levels of each employee, as well as their skill and knowledge. Many other factors such as team communication, work environment, company culture and motivation levels also profoundly impact their individual efforts and how they feel. You will find the best method to track progress and calculate productivity in many guidelines, but remember that every company and team is unique. It would be best if you select the effective ways that suit your workplace the most. And considering these differences, it is evident that productivity measures will also be different. So if you are a manager trying to measure your team's productivity, first ask yourself these questions. And even though there are many ways you can track your team's productivity, now let's see how you can do it. With the first method, time management is the process of organizing, managing and prioritizing it. When taking it one step further, one needs to control their time and energy for this process to be effective. The reason for which having a good relationship with time directly impacts productivity can be deducted without any intricacies. This way, you'll be able to maximize your time on specific tasks or projects so that you can achieve more in less time or simply achieve certain objectives faster. So whatever be the size of your business, you can monitor productivity of your employees based on how much they manage their time. Now the question comes is how time tracking facilitates time management. So to improve your time management skills, you can add time tracking to your routine or for your team. So if you and your employees have a hunch that you need to improve productivity but you don't know where to start with, then tracking time spent on all your tasks can be the first practical step. And in this case, a time tracking app will work best for your employee productivity calculator without manual interference. It will inform your decisions with the data on following things like these. A productivity tracking tool can even be necessary if you work remotely or have a hybrid setup, because your productivity measurements will boost your employees' productivity and provide crucial information to keep your projects running smoothly. Moreover, it can ensure greater accountability among employees. So to accurately determine employee productivity, you need to know how much time was spent producing the total output, and you need to know as precisely as possible. The second method is this, wherein the quality means how good or bad something is, meaning quality is a measure of excellence, whereas the quantity represents the amount or the number of something, especially that can be measured, meaning quantity is the extent, size or sum of something, a numerical value. But how does all this fit into work? So it's fairly common for management to measure employee productivity based on quantity, but this way of measuring productivity is limiting both for an employee's performance and for the company's performance overall. So if you have been measuring productivity in the standard way, here are some of the methods that you can start using from now onwards. Thirdly, to determine if your team is productive, you can compare how your employees completed their work goals individually and as a team. Check your team's productivity by looking at their goals and those they failed to achieve. This is one of the reasons why setting goals is essential to your team, because it allows you to compare expected versus actual performance. But in all this, remember, making your employees put in more labor hours is not indicative of increasing productivity. It's rather counterproductive. So the amount of time someone spends at work is not the same as the number of hours they are working. So how do you proceed from here and what do you communicate? So reiterate their goals and KPIs. Employees who are more familiar with their goals are proven to be more productive than the employees who are less informed on the topic. An employee feels a deeper connection with their company and has a greater sense of purpose and belonging when they know what is expected from them. So increasing your team's productivity may be as simple as reminding them about your organization's goals and breaking the achievement of those objectives into smaller tasks. In the next method, keeping track of our employees' performance is an objective and practical instrument for measuring employee productivity. So measuring productivity in this case can be accessed by checking on these pointers, which totally depends on the role for which you are measuring the productivity. And also you need to keep in mind that many external factors can lead to poor results at times. So have a holistic approach to assessing. Nonetheless, performance tracking involves different indicators than goals and is much easier to gauge. For instance, it accounts for whether your employees have a good relationship with their peers and contribute to the organization's culture. Lastly, the planned to be done ratio measures the percentage of tasks that were completed to those that were assigned. By analyzing your employee performance against a given list of tasks, you will get some deep insight into your team's capacity and potential for productivity. Let's suppose your team has a lot of work in the pipeline. They must complete 10 tasks monthly to meet the deadlines and given objectives. However, if they could only meet 5 tasks a month, a planned to be done ratio will be 50%. So therefore, if you have a low planned to be done ratio, it may be time for you to hire more team members to finalize the workload, reduce the current amount of work, or rework your planning process to make it efficient. That's all in this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed shooting this for you. If so, then please hit that like button and do share it with your friends and colleagues to spread the information. And please subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon if you haven't till now, in order to get connected with HR Administ and to have the access to such useful informations.